Hello and welcome to Renweb training video number 3. Today I'm going to be talking about entering grades in the gradebook. So you'll see that we are back here at the home screen, and I'm going to go over and select Classroom. From here I will select the date. Usually when you're coming in to do grades, it's going to be on the date that you're entering them, the date that you need. Because I'm recording these videos in the summertime, we aren't in school, so I don't have any classes showing. So I'm going to just change it to a date where I can choose a class that I will be teaching this year. And then I'm going to change the date over here as well. So this is the Writing Center class, and I'm going to show you right now. I'm actually on the attendance screen, which I've gone over in another video, but I'm going to click over here on Gradebook, and you'll see that I have already entered some categories for Writing Center as far as areas of grade. So for English, that might look like tests, quizzes, and homework, or in math, again, it might be tests, quizzes, homework, participation, something like that. In order to set up those categories, you're going to click on Actions and then Categories. And I recommend that you work with your department head in setting up those categories. Every department is different in the way that they handle grades and percentages of weight for different kinds of assignments. So talk with your department head about what that breakdown should look like for your class. But that's where I set up my categories. Then in order to enter grades, I'm going to click on this plus sign for adding an assignment first. You can see I have one assignment entered, but I'll go ahead and enter another one. So I'm going to choose a category. Let's see, administrative responsibilities. And let's see, write up. So after mentors meet with a client, they need to complete a Google form explaining, what they worked with the student on, how they helped them. So explain tutoring session, maybe, or summary, that's probably better, of tutoring session. Let's say that assignment is due on the 22nd. I'll go ahead and put that there. You can also put a date assigned. Usually I just focus on the due date because that's the date that shows up in Renweb. And then hit save. You can also hit save and create another one if you're creating a lot of assignments at once, or save and grade, or save and close this window. Or you can come up here and close this window. If you have multiple classes that are the same and you know that I'm assigning the same assignment for sections 1, 2, and 3 of Algebra 1, you can create the assignment in your section 1 for Algebra 1, and then just after you've saved it, you can select copy and copy that over to other classes. So if I click copy, I can specify the records that I want to copy over. Actually, that's, yeah. So if I wanted to copy that assignment, that's how I would do that. You can also add additional assignments from here. You can enter grades here just by clicking on grades and then enter the student's grade. So if these students did a great job with those write-ups, they would each get 100%, and then the grade is automatically entered there. You can also enter the grade right here on this screen. I often end up writing it up on the other screen because I find that it's easy to accidentally get on the wrong column. And with Renweb, as you're entering grades, once you enter it, it replaces whatever was there before. So just to avoid making mistakes, it might be better to just go ahead and click in the assignment rather than just entering it here, but that's up to you. But if I wanted to go in and enter grades for week 1 mentoring, if, let's say for instance, this won't really apply to the Writing Center, but in other classes, if the student didn't turn in their homework, put in those missing grades as soon as possible so that the student is notified. When you enter a missing, you'll notice that it calculates in Renweb as a 0. It's still missing, but in terms of the impact of their grade in the class, it will calculate as a 0. So they can see the impact of not turning that assignment in. If you have a student who hasn't turned it in, but there are extenuating circumstances and you and the student have talked about it and you don't want to put in a missing, you can also put in a pending, a P. So for instance, if a student has a concussion and they're going to be making up work on a little bit different schedule or something like that, you can put in a pending. The other option is to also put in excused. I know if I've had a student with a concussion, sometimes I'll excuse some assignments, some homework, or things in order to help them just get caught up. So these are 3 different codes that you can use. A missing calculates as a 0. Pending doesn't affect their grade. It just is kind of a placeholder, and then excused, it just excuses the assignment. So those are 3 options besides actually entering a grade. I think you can also do I for incomplete. If they turned in an assignment but it wasn't satisfactory for whatever reason, you could put in complete. And you can also type notes over here. So if it's incomplete, need to cite sources, or something like that, or you only turned in half of it, something like that. Adding notes is really helpful, especially to parents, letting them know if something is missing. If there's some note that helps you to kind of explain what it is the student needs to do, or if it's pending because they have a concussion, the notes can be helpful to you, the parents, and the student. So that is what that looks like. But we're just going to go ahead and assume that they all did this assignment, and close back out of here. So at the end of the quarter, you'll be able to, you'll just have a whole long row of assignments. And you can look at them as all assignments. You can look at them by category. You can look at them also in summary form, so you can kind of see how they're doing in each category of work. And so sometimes it's helpful to see those things. I think that's everything for entering grades. I'm going to do another video about what to do at the end of the quarter in terms of preparing the report card grades. So I'll do that in another video, but that's it for entering grades in Renweb. Thanks for your time.